Welcome, everybody, to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show Series. It's so nice to have you here. It's also so wonderful to have, once again, returning to the Jim Masters Show Live Series, the incomparable Melissa Manchester, Grammy-winning music legend, singer, songwriter, actress extraordinaire. She's joining us live and direct from her home in Los Angeles, California, where she said temperatures are actually cooling off from 110 down to the mid 80s. Not too bad. She'll be joining us in just a second. I want to welcome everybody to our show. This is our Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series that we started about 2 years ago. And you guys know it plays off my professional work in television and radio, stage and film. And we have hit about 700 episodes now live 7 days a week, which is absolutely extraordinary. And thanks to all of you for all the great comments and all the levity. As we say, the show has a lot of light, love, and levity, or levity. And if you guys would like to comment in the live JMS chat room, that chat room is open and available for you right now. When you subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's the channel you're watching right now, Jim Masters TV. There's no cost for that. You can chat actually right now. We can see your comments. You guys can chat amongst yourselves. Click that red button there. There's no cost for that. That allows you to be a part of the JMS family here. Again, we say the show has a lot of levity, and it really, really does. When I said light, love, and levity, said it too fast, and I said the word levity, and you guys jumped on it. Thanks for all the support, the comments, the love coming our way with the extraordinary guests we have that come in from all walks of life: Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, culinary arts, sports, comedy, and so much more. And I see a lot of comments built up. I know everybody's very excited. If you saw the previous episode when Melissa Manchester was with us, you know what I'm talking about, how epic that was. If you didn't see it, I encourage you to go back in our archives. She and I had one of the most extraordinary conversations, and a lot of people were still talking about it. We were talking about so many things important in life and inspiration, and it was in sort of the thick of the pandemic. You know, YouTube goes crazy to say that word too loud. And we just had an extraordinary conversation. So check that out. That was a full sort of an extended conversation. We have her for a brief time here on this episode. We want to celebrate some really amazing things that are happening. She has been touring, but she also has released a really fantastic album, Melissa Manchester Live 77. This is really exciting. We're going to talk about this and so much more in just a second, but hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for joining us here on the show. You guys know we do it like an old school talk show from television with modern flair and modern twist. And thanks for all the great comments and all the love. And we hope you watch us again. Quick programming note that tomorrow, Tony Orlando will be with us. And on Wednesday, John Davidson is making his return visit to the Jim Masters Show Live. Again, we are so honored to have Melissa with us here on the show. I'm sure you are so familiar with her work. You know, in 1980, she became the first recording artist in the history of the Academy Awards to have 2 nominated movie themes in a single year. Through the Eyes of Love from Ice Castles, which is a spectacularly beautiful song, as well as I'll Never Say Goodbye from The Promise. And to perform them both on the Oscar telecast as well was extraordinary. Melissa, you know, starred in the national tours of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Music of the Night and Song and Dance, and created the role of Maddie, the title character's mother, on the NBC hit TV series Blossom. That's right. Yo. Remember Joey Lawrence? That was his big line. Nominated for a Grammy in 1980 for, of course, the epic Don't Cry Out Loud. She won the Grammy Award for the Best Female Vocalist in 1982, singing You Should Hear How She Talks About You. That's one of those songs, you know, you have it in your head and you end up singing it in the car. Melissa has composed music for the animated features The Great Mouse Detective and Lady and the Tramp 2, the sequel to the Disney classic. In addition to composing the scores of the theatrical musicals I Sent a Letter to My Love and Sweet Potato Queens, Melissa also co-wrote the radio mainstays Midnight Blue, Come In From the Rain, and Whenever I Call You Friend, which are all epic songs. Melissa celebrated her nearly, hard to believe, 5-decade career. Yes, could you imagine that? That went by as Melissa would say, in a New York minute. Went by real quickly, and we are so glad we have all of this music, decades of music that she has shared for all of us. It's really incredible. She celebrated and marked that nearly 5-decade career with the release of her 21st album, The Fellers, a tribute to the iconic male singers who set the platinum standard for pop music. And in November 2021, she was inducted into the Great American Songbook Foundation's Hall of Fame. And in December of 2021, she had the pleasure of saluting her longtime colleague, Bette Midler, on the Kennedy Center Honors Awards telecast. We saw that, and that was a very special, special moment. And of course, her new album, Review, as well, featuring previously unreleased songs, as well as fresh takes on several of her enduring classics. Now, I mentioned Live 77 as well, and she's very excited about this. Everybody is. Melissa Manchester fans are. The music industry is as well, because this is really something quite special. Long lost first live album from one, of course, the greatest singer-songwriters to emerge, not just from the 70s, but ever, featuring fan favorites and hits, plus the premiere of the blues classic High Heel Sneakers, liner notes that include exclusive quotes from Melissa, as well as Clive Davis, are included. 45th anniversary 2 CD set that came out in May on Real Gone Music and Second Disc Records. And that is just the short list, folks, of really exciting things that are happening in the life and world of Melissa Manchester. It is my pleasure to welcome her back to the Jim Masters Show Live. We were just having a chat moments ago about family and life, and it's always so wonderful to do that with Melissa. She really is a very special person. And she's back on our show. Welcome back, Melissa. How are you?
Mr. Levity. I'm very well. How are you?
That's right. You were running low on levity and said, I got to get back on the Jim Masters Show,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
How have you been? We were talking about that. How's the family? How are you? Since we chatted last, it was sort of in the thick of the pandemic.
Yes.
And how are you doing now? How's everybody faring?
Everybody's okay, as far as I know. Thank God. Nobody
Yes.
that I know has gotten it, or they have recovered rather quickly these days. And everybody's boosted, so we're all fine. Thank you.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is exciting as well. Since we chatted last, you've been working on a lot of different things, and one of them is the Melissa Manchester Live 77. Tell us about that, and congratulations as well.
Thank you very much. Well, this sort of dropped out of the sky. Live 77 was in the vaults at Arista Sony Records, and I had long ago forgotten about this concert. It's from a concert I did in Gainesville, Florida, where I used to perform quite a bit because there's the college in Gainesville. And at the time, in 77, my audience was mostly a college audience. And I wanted to do a live album that just seemed like a cool idea. And Midnight Blue had just come out. I think Through the Eyes of Love had come out, but it was really at the beginning of my career, really. And Clive Davis and the guys at Arista Records, who made all those decisions, did not think that a live album was a good idea for a follow-up for Midnight Blue. So they put it in the vault. Until wonderful Joe Marchese, who's with Second Disc and Real Gone, climbed around the vault, I guess, pulled it out and said, "What is this?" And it was an entire concert. It was recorded on 1/2-inch tape. It was just mixed as it was being recorded, so it's very raw. And audially, you feel like you are sitting in the audience.
Wow.
Everything sounds very live. There's no polish to this, including yours truly, at all. We were just you were really getting an hour's worth of a snapshot of what life was like on stage, where I just worked really hard. I had a band at the time. It was magnificent. Well, and so I had to listen to all of these cuts. I had to sort of relax and realize that that's what live music sounded like in that moment. And sweetly enough, there was originally a different cover photo, but I remember a kid in the audience took what I chose for this fantastic cover. He was sitting in the audience, and that's why he got that great angle. His name is
Yes.
David Lachey, and he took the cover and the back photograph. And it's just, I mean, it's just me being in the peak of
It's
what
you
he,
doing you. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That,
There it
that's it.
is.
Yeah, that was taken by a fan who's now vice president at TKTS Tickets,
Oh,
and
really?
yes, and he was
Just,
kind enough to say, just do it, just use it.
just,
So it
wow.
was really, and you know, in the realm of things that
Hmm.
it took so long to be rediscovered and be released at all. What I have learned at this point is that there's my time and that there's God's time. And God's time is much more useful than my time, because
Yes.
my time usually makes me cranky. And so that this sort of dropped in the middle of this ongoing pandemic, and where I could get out a little bit, but I couldn't get out all that much. It was
Right.
a remarkable gift, and it was a gift to longtime fans, some who were actually in the audience in 1977, which is completely wild. So it's been very, very touching, very, very touching, because I remember that young woman. I remember how hard everything was. I remember the exhaustion and the exhilaration, and I'm grateful that she stuck it out and became me.
Yes, you did, and we are grateful as well too. And you're so beloved by so many, and I love when we chat because it's always so real and authentic. And you know, um, when you have an opportunity to have something sort of rediscovered like that, it can be really, really extraordinary. Was it emotional for you too when this was
It
rediscovered? I would
it
imagine.
was. It
Yeah.
was. It was emotional on many fronts. Like I said, I my body memory remembered how exhausting everything was. I
Yeah.
had no mentors. I mean, I had a good manager and a good team, and they were doing the best they could. But I was surrounded by guys. I had nobody that I could say, "What does this seem like to you? What is this nuanced?" Or and so where I was the freest always was on stage. That's where I worked out ideas. That's how high heel sneakers came to be on that. I mean, we probably worked on that over dinner or something and said, let's do it on stage. Sure. But I was surrounded by good-hearted, sweet-spirited musicians who would just try stuff with me, because that's where I was free to try stuff. So yes, I remember a lot of it. I remember the sound of it is so, like I said, it's so raw.
Yeah.
There's no finesse. There's
Right.
no finessing anything. Sometimes the
No.
guitar is out a little too much in the front. Sometimes other things, but it's you are in the audience, and I think that is a singular experience for the listener.
It really is. And what's exciting about it too is I believe there's like 21 songs, as you mentioned, featuring the hits Midnight Blue, Better Days, and a song that Bob Dylan admired, Just You and I, right?
Yes, yes, that was interesting. Bob Dylan came to see me perform at the Guthrie Theater in Minneapolis, and he came backstage, and I have a photograph of he and I, and he talked to me about that song, Just You and I. He really liked it, and then when I was off the road, he invited me over to his home, which was kind of interesting. I mean, he was so established, but you never know what a person's going to be like. And he always had one of his musicians around him in case he came up with an idea, because he didn't really have a sense of time. Ideas just sort of poured out of him. So his musician, he would sort of relay the idea to the musician, and the musician would put it into a form where you could count it, because the ideas were literally, they were just pouring through him. It was wild.
Isn't that
But
amazing?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
That's really cool. I say that, well, actually, it was guests and viewers who have said, because, as you know from the conversation we've had previously, I'm a conversationalist, I'm a communicator, I'm a broadcaster. I love communicating, inspiring, connecting, and relating to people,
Mhm.
lifting people up. You've done that for so many years through just being you, but also through the music itself. I think it's really amazing, when you have these opportunities to present material like this, especially coming out at a time when people need to hear positive stuff and stuff that makes them feel good and stuff that sort of settles things a little bit. And music is a great, not only universal language, but it's an incredible healer on so many levels.
Well, it does, but I think the other component is that the 77 album reminds people of what it felt like to be in community. We have not been in community for a long time, and now we're back in community. And when I perform these days, I talk about that on stage, and that gets a huge response because people don't know what that word is and the gravitas of it. We are hardwired to be together. For better or worse, we are hardwired to create community. And so this concert, the the feeling of being in the audience, where you would turn around to somebody and poke them in the rib or whatever, um, has serves a purpose. And in this moment, it's a real purpose.
It absolutely is. And one of the cool things, too, about the album is it's being described, the songs that are contained in it, as joyful and
Mhm.
sensual, romantic, optimistic, soulful, spellbinding, and ultimately empowering in a way that is sort of directly calling upon thoughts and emotions of the young audience and proving timeless over the ensuing decades. What a fabulous way to describe this, huh?
Yeah, it's wild, and thankfully, I am reminded of that time and again after my shows when I do a meet and greet in the lobby, and people will tell me what my music has helped them get through in their teens and 20s and beyond, and that's really the unexpected gift. That music can really be a tool for clarifying. It can be literally a life raft, and it's very humbling for sure.
Steve is here. Steve Birdie says, and he first heard your Midnight Blue back in '75.
Uh
And
huh.
he's here and is very happy. That's really exciting. One of the things that a couple of the guests said that what we're doing here is bringing back the lost art of conversation, which I
Hmm.
love to do.
Me too.
You have a way, which when I was doing my research, which I think is fantastic, and when you do your teaching and mentoring, the art of conversational singing. I
Yes.
think that's fantastic. Tell us about that, Melissa.
In my mind, that is very much what I teach, the art of conversational singing, because what I know to be true is I have sung many of these songs over and over for decades now, which has been a privilege. And part of what has happened is that the more I sing them, the deeper the experience is because I infuse more and more of my life, my insights into these compositions. And and so when I use them, when I use a song as my side of a conversation, and in my deep imagination choose who I'm singing my song to, then then it gives me a reason to sing each line because we're having a conversation and each line is a response to something that you said in my imagination that gets me through the song, the verses, the choruses, the repeats, so that it comes alive. And that is why songs that I have sung for so many times over the years never get boring to me because every time I'm singing them, it's as if it's for the first time, just better.
Right. That's right. Exactly. Exactly. Because sometimes you can hear people that will say, "Oh, I'm so tired of singing the same song that I'm famous for, and I'm bored by it. But since you're here, and
I don't even know what to say to that. It's so insulting to the audience, and it diminishes your value. I mean, as an artist, I think, but that's just me.
yeah,
It's weird.
with this live 77 album, you, like you said, you were surrounded by some extraordinary musicians too, huh? That have come from a
Mhm.
lot of different groups and other bands. Tell us about that.
Well, they were all very patient with me because I would have these ideas, and sometimes I would want to expand on the ideas from the recording, because that's what you can do live. And one of the things that I learned from live performance is nothing fades. It ends, so it enables the audience to applaud.
Right.
And so that was interesting. But then making room for everybody to have a solo, for just to keep working the energy in the theater was really beautiful.
We had a guest the other night, Tara Kemp. She was popular in the '90s, chart-topping R&B, Billboard charting singer. And she said, "Jim, I see you have Melissa Manchester on the next night. Please tell her," so I want to relay this for Tara, "please tell her that she influenced me in such a beautiful, deep, and extraordinary way to do what I do. And she is the person that, through her resilience, her stamina, and through her music, sort of encouraged me without even realizing she was doing it to get out there and do this music." So I just
That's
wanted to
so
pass that
sweet.
along. I'm sure you've heard that from many, not just
Well,
fans, but fellow artists as well.
well, thank you very much, and thanks to Tara. That's you have to. It takes great courage to live the life of an artist, and the audition is never over. However, we are in a really a golden age of the independent artist, and I am now an independent artist. I have been for several years now, and so even though that may be code language for you have to do 4 times as much yourself, it doesn't matter. If I hear it, if I have the idea, I can bring it to somebody and in my little village and say, let's work on this. And that's really thrilling.
We're talking about music that you're famous for over the years. What has changed in terms of your perspective, in terms of maybe anything stylistically or anything that you want to do going forward, the message that you want to share with your music now?
Stylistically, um gosh, I don't know. The song usually dictates the form, and in in finishing the review project, I just finished recording the final track. It's just taken a long time because it's taken however long it needed to take. And
Right.
some of these songs, I'm re-recording it basically how it was recorded originally, with a little tweak harmonically. There are no fades on this project. They all end, because that's what I've learned from
I love it.
the
Yeah.
stage. But some songs, you really want to embrace a new approach, because that speaks to you through the song. And I did that on 2 songs. I won't mention them yet because you'll
Yet.
hear
Yeah.
them eventually. But it's how to breathe life into an old song. In the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and I guess the 60s, artists were recording the same song over and over and over, a
Right.
great song, and they would find a new style or a new tempo or a new approach. But that's so rare these days. So I had to really dig deep for myself to let these songs breathe. And some songs really wanted to be left alone,
Yeah.
and some songs really just opened up, and we just tried new things. And the thing that I think we talked about this a little bit the last time I was on. Several of these songs have grown into this moment that we have been going through. The
Yeah.
pandemic, the strange going on in our nation, all of it.
Yeah.
And that's an unexpected blessing, because that's what songs can do too. They can galvanize a nation. They can
Right.
help highlight something that you weren't aware of, and that was really really unexpected as well.
There was something that you shared last time that really stuck with me, and I've shared it with a lot of other artists, and they're like, "Oh my God, Melissa is so spot on with this." When I asked you what inspires you to pen such fabulous music, such empowering music, just entertaining, uplifting, rhythmic, just really good stuff. And you said, "Well, Jim, I could be walking from one side of the house to the other, and all of a sudden, bang, light bulb moment. And I got to go to the piano and I got to press record and I got to work that out and record it as it's filtering through me."
Right.
And I've told other people, Melissa Manchester said that that's how she does it. And they're like, "Oh my God, that's what I do." That's the because if you don't do it, it sort of
Oh, it
dissipates
does.
and it weakens. And
Yes, it
then there have been
disappears.
other artists like, "Oh my God, what a great way to capture the moment." Because sometimes they wish that they had gone to the instrument and recorded it.
Oh yeah, I think inspiration is always floating around, and I think that if we are open to receiving it, and if we have our phone nearby and just sing into the phone, that's what helps you hold on to it, because there's no question that, I mean, it's true magic. It will
Yes.
leave you as quickly as it showed up. And
Yes.
if you don't create some evidence of the inspiration, it'll tap on somebody else's shoulder. It just will.
What are some of the things that are inspiring you today? Like you mentioned, some of the things that we've gone through, individually and collectively have inspired many people to reposition and take a look at their lives. And some people are completely rearranging what they're doing with their lives too and going in other avenues, maybe finishing the book, doing things they've always wanted to do. How about for you, Melissa?
Uh, just to be able to get back to performing was really eye opening,
Yeah.
because as I mentioned to you before we went on air, it really, because I've been on the road off and on since February, and it there is a there it's like smoke in the air.
Palpable. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel, I mean, I felt like we were doing a USO tour for the frontline fighters, you know.
Yeah.
People they were in trauma, but it was very mild, you know. People were very kind, they were very happy to see you. They would applaud and cheer and scream and come, afterwards to the meet and greet. But you could sense that when I would talk about community, they would lean in and say, "That's what it is. We've missed that for 18, 22 months." And boy, that left, I think it left a little scar on the soul. And for me, I'm one of the girlfriends that will not stop talking about what we have been through,
Yes.
because the
Yeah.
fact that we have survived, some have not, but for
Yes.
those of us who have, I don't want to forget this. I think we have done the best we could. We learned all kinds of lessons, still learning all kinds of lessons, and to not just look at our society, but really see the unfinished business of our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution, and see how we all move forward and help each other. I do it through songs because that's what shows up for me. But I know that there's a service through songs. I do.
Pam says, "Love Ms. Manchester. My mother did too. We saw her concert in Maryland in the 1980s."
Yes.
I would imagine when you hear that and people sort of pour their heart out to you as far as how much the decades of music, and it is hard to believe we're talking about coming up on 5 decades. But when
Yes.
they pour their heart out about how the music has touched them in so many different ways, and now this new Live 77 album is just going to really reconnect people with that time period and the fabulous songs, that must really make you feel spectacular, huh?
Well,
Sort of the
it's
icing.
so, yeah, it's so touching, and for those who have gotten 77, when they say we remember that sound, we remember being in concert halls that way, we remember being alive in that moment. We remember what was happening in the United States, in our home, in our colleges, with our boyfriends or girlfriends, what we couldn't do, what was still on the horizon to be freer about, whether it was recognizing your sexuality, or the fact that you've been abused and you didn't recognize it, or all of the stuff that we are more and more able to talk about, and not and feel less and less shame about, less and less secret keeping. It's just it's an interesting moment to be alive. Yeah.
It really is. What are a couple of quick things that maybe you learned about Melissa during this time?
um well, I am a creature of curiosity. And what I know to be true is, I used to think that I was following my passion because there was always music in my home, and there was always creativity in my home, and dreaming was encouraged and all of that stuff. But I think really it's that I'm a curious person. I'm curious. At this point, I started studying a music program called Sibelius. It's another language,
It
and
is,
my
yeah.
brain can barely make room for it, but I am determined to learn this. I'm studying Spanish. Not that I can speak a word of it, but it's just interesting. And I think curiosity doesn't kill the cat. It keeps you engaged, and it
Yes.
keeps you encouraged. And I think that's what's really interesting about life at any time.
Yeah. Coming in from the Philippines, your music is as beautiful as you. Thank you very much for that wonderful comment. So this is really exciting again. What are some other things that are coming up as well in the horizon in addition to Live at 77? Like you say, you just sort of wrapping up a little bit
Yes, I'm
review.
wrapping up review. Yes,
Congratulations.
yes, well, everybody's been very patient. This is the world's longest album, but the reason it's taken so long is because per song we've been making a video, and that just takes longer than just recording the song. But we have the last 3 videos that we're working on, and also I have been composing more choral pieces that I will be recording. Um, and Yeah, there's just stuff out there, and I'm open for adventures, and I'm back on the road a little bit, and it's fine.
Are you always writing? Do you find yourself always writing, or do you take a pause once in a while in between?
I'm not always writing, but I'm frequently jotting. I jot ideas that come to me. This is me jotting, and it's all over. And I look at it and I think, aha, that's pretty good. I wonder if it's a first line or a title or stuck in the second verse. I don't know. But, for me to look at my jottings and say, okay, let's work on this now. That takes me getting very still and making room for my source language, my source music, to come up to that conscious level where I can hear it.
What are some things you do to when you're getting ready to go either in the studio or on stage? I would imagine there are some exercises that you do that work for you in
Oh yeah.
preparation because sometimes any of us that use our voice for any of these careers, we wait until we're actually in the thick of it to then sort of get the voice ready. And that's not so
It's already too
advantageous.
late.
It's too
Yes, if
late.
you're in the thick of it, it's too late. Yeah. No, it takes real preparation. And again, in 77, I had no technique. I just sang like I was in my mother's living room. I mean, I just
Right.
didn't
Yeah.
know. And so, on a day that I'm performing, at around, depending on the time I have to go on stage in the afternoon, I will go to a gym and I'll walk on a treadmill for 30 minutes just to get myself really warm and just to get my insides and these little vocal cords very warm. I drink a lot of water on performance days in particular. I vocalize right before I'm going to go on for about half an hour. And that's what I do, and that is a
Yeah.
regiment that I have learned for myself.
What are some other things that you do separate from music that also calm and balance things out? You and I were chatting briefly before we went live, working in the garden with the tomatoes, things like
Yes.
that.
Yes, yes. I live in a modest apartment with a lovely patio, and so it's the season now for planting. So I've planted lots of geraniums, and I planted a pepper plant and a tomato plant, and I love seeing things being alive. I have a sweet potato plant which is thriving, but there are no sweet potatoes that I can see. But the leaves are very happy, so that's sweet. And I love to read. I love to listen to classical music and jazz music. I love to drive around and just see what's around because there's just so much to look at and to explore. And sometimes it doesn't take $1 to do anything. Of course, you have to fill up the gas tank once in a while, but
Yeah.
other than that, it's just being being quiet and being okay with the quiet of your company.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I agree 100%. And that's so important, to have those moments and have those times. When you look back at this extraordinary career that continues today, and again, folks, if you want music,
Mhm.
she's been busy. Oh, I love this shot. I saw this and I said, we
Thank
got to show this. This is fantastic. Tell us
thank
about
you.
this.
That was a photograph by the great photographer Randy St. Nicholas, and that was the end of a shoot. I was literally just putting on a little bit of makeup. I was
Terrific.
about to take, this was I was wearing a black velvet tuxedo, and I was just fixing my hair, and she said, "Do that," and she pulled her camera in, and that was the last shot of the day.
She captured something very, very
Yeah,
special.
yeah.
But look at that great shot, huh?
Well, that was from when I was with Bell Records. That was at the very beginning of my career. Oh no, Arista. Arista was new, and I was absorbed into Arista by Bell, from Bell.
That's fantastic. And then, like you
Yeah.
say, now it's independent. You're doing your thing now, right?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Yes, my company's called Long Run Entertainment, as I have been doing a long run of entertaining, and yes, yes. And that was singing, and singing was fun because that shot was taken on the actual set of the film Singing in the Rain. And we used the original rain machine, which had two settings, hurricane and mist. So I was in hurricane.
you're
And we tried
right.
to, we tried to yes, we
You're right.
tried to recreate the famous Gene Kelly scene when he's dancing. And yeah, it's beautiful.
Gang,
Yeah.
if you want music, I mean, of course, this Don't Cry Out Loud. We talked
Mhm.
about the epic songs that, these are this from Solid Gold. Of course, you made several appearances on Solid Gold,
Yes.
which are epic as well. I know it's very hard. And there's the package that comes with Live at
Yes.
77,
Yes.
liner notes. Tell us about some of the extra goodies that actually come with it, Melissa.
Well, the photographs are so dear. As you can see, there's a picture with me and one of the Muppets,
Yeah.
and yeah, the liner notes are just spectacular. Joe Marchese again. He's such a he's a true archivist. I've
Yeah.
known
Yeah.
two true in from the soul archivists. Michael Feinstein is one, and
Yes.
Joe Marchese. They have such reverence for the history of popular music. And, you know, somebody was asking Michael Feinstein the other day about the Great American Songbook. He said it's alive. It didn't stop with Cole Porter and Irving Berlin and George Gershwin. It just started then. But there are
Yeah.
several standards that have been created through the years, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm,
And that still is something that resonates with everybody too, the Great American Songbook on
sure.
so many different levels. Um, have you, I mean, you've had an opportunity to sing a lot of different kinds of music as well, not just sticking to one particular genre. Do you like to do that? Experiment, like you've mentioned, some other things that you're teaching
Well, what
yourself and learning now, which is
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah. Well, when I was working on Tribute, which was my tribute to the women, and then
Yeah.
working on The Fellas, which was my tribute to the men, which was
Yeah.
really the completion of that idea. In paying tribute to Ella Fitzgerald and
Yeah.
Mel Torme, I chose two scat tour de forces that they had been known for. For Ella, it was Lady Be Good, and for Mel, it was Love Is Just Around the Corner. So I had to reshift my jawline to get all those syllables out in time, and I studied it very slowly and then got up to rhythm and speed. And so I just love, I'm not really a scatter, but I have such an appreciation for these geniuses, true geniuses, who did effortlessly. I
Yeah.
mean, Ella just had an endless capacity for musical ideas, as did Mel. And so yes, so that was very sweet. And of course, we've just celebrated the 100th birthday of the great Judy
Judy
Garland,
Garland,
and
yes.
I paid tribute to her on the tribute album with Over the Rainbow. And
Yeah.
there's a video clip when I was singing at Radio City Music Hall with it was an all-star tribute. Um, and Liza was in the wings. And after I finished singing Over the Rainbow, I walked off stage, and she grabbed me and she said, I never like when people sing my mother's signature song except you. And we held
Mm.
hands. So it was big.
Wow, huh?
Yeah,
That
that
is
was,
something. Who
yeah.
are some of those folks that have inspired you or that you always looked up to as you were coming up the ranks?
The great singers who sang great songs written for them were just on the airwaves. So when I was growing up, it was Sinatra and Tony Bennett and Nat Cole and
Yeah.
Johnny Hartman and uh, Judy and Ella and Edith Piaf and Billie Holiday and Rosie Clooney. And then as I got older and the singer-songwriter started to show up. It was James Taylor and Stevie Wonder. I loved the Motown sound. I loved all those songs because in those days, still songs were melody driven. They weren't
Right.
percussively driven. So if you took
Right.
everything away and just played those songs from Motown or the Philadelphia sound or the Beatles, of course, or the Beach Boys, and you just played them on the piano, these were stunning compositions.
Yeah.
But then the women who touched me and really they were they were beacons of light for me were Laura Nyro and Joni Mitchell.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then, of course, working with Bette Midler and getting to know Barry Manilow really, opened my eyes because Bette and that funny song, You Gotta Have Friends, in that moment that really galvanized a marginalized gay audience. And so it was amazing to be in those moments. It was amazing to know that you are in a moment where history is going to go one way or the other, but you were there as a witness, and it was stunning, really.
What would Melissa of today say to the Melissa that was starting out coming up the ranks?
Well, I would certainly say whenever you feel anxious, whenever you don't know how to answer a business person, whenever you don't know how to make a decision, whenever you're just sort of feeling anxiety, slow your brain down, breathe in deeply, excuse yourself, find a wall that you can lean against, and just keep getting oxygen in your brain. And also trust yourself, gather information so that you can make informed decisions. None of that was encouraged
Right.
in the 1970s or 80s. It was all, you do this and you do that and you pay my bills, and nobody ever said, maybe you should ask about where your money's coming from or going to.
Coming
Now,
from and going to,
that's
very
exactly
important.
right. Kids are much more informed these days,
Yes.
because I think the world of the independent musician is much more prevalent these days.
Yes.
There are very few record companies anymore, and kids are creating their own music and their own product, and they have to become wiser about how they're spending money, or if money is coming in, or if the person they're entrusting with those funds is trustworthy. It's all that stuff.
Yeah. You're truly amazing. I don't want to keep you too long. Last time we had an epic conversation, which was really, really spectacular. I think we covered everything. Did we talk about meatloaf recipes too? I think maybe, or
I believe there was one
and
stuck
I
in.
bet you got a good one too. You are a blessing and a joy, one of my favorite people. And I have interviewed, I was calculating it the other day in my professional work in television and radio, and then with this show, but really mainly with the professional work, probably over 6,000 people now in all walks of life.
Wow.
And interviewing is just one hat that I wear. You are one of my favorite people because you're
Aw.
real, you're authentic, not only extremely talented, but you're empathetic and you're caring and you're affable, and people gravitate to you and to the songs equally. The songs make them feel good. The songs, enrich their lives, but it's the facilitator, the conduit, the creator that is making that initial relatable connection. And you're beloved because, and I know you're humble about that, but you're
Mhm.
beloved because of the fact that you truly care. And that makes a difference. And people realize that as much as you want to entertain them and get their feet moving, or you want them to relate to a very deep song, whatever it may be, you have this uncanny ability to to be you and to be you in a very deep and loving way. And
Mhm.
everybody gets that and everybody feels that. So I'm speaking for all the lovedies that are commenting left and right, and they've been saying
Aw.
beautiful things. And for myself, just absolutely fantastic when we have a chance to chat, and always very beautiful. And I always look forward to it. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with
Always.
me as I have with you.
Always. Always. You're a joy. Thank you, Jim.
Oh, you're very welcome. And like last time, Mr. George Burns comes in to say hello.
Oh my God.
So
Oh
there he
my
is
God.
again. He came back with his
Oh my
cigar and
God.
his pocket square. He
Oh
said,
my
"You knocked it
God.
out of the park, kiddo."
Oh my God. I told you my George
Exactly.
I told you my George Burns story the last time,
No,
didn't I?
I don't
No?
think I don't think so.
Well, I had a friend. Yes. What? See, this was meant to be. This moment was meant to
It
be.
was
This is
meant
why I
to
showed
be.
up. Yes. Years and years ago, I have two kids. I was pregnant with my first kid, and I was invited to the Hillcrest Country Club, which is a famous country club, golf club, uh, founded by, I think, Groucho Marx and George Burns and Jack Benny, I think. So I went there and I was enormously pregnant with my first kid, my son. And the fellow that I was with, he was the traveling companion of George Burns. So he brought me over to George's table and he said, George, this is Melissa Manchester. Isn't it wonderful? Look at, she's so pregnant. And George says, does your husband know about this?
That is quintessential George. Did you hear
George.
the one with Frank Sinatra and Don Rickles? Don Rickles, I think, said to Frank Sinatra once, "Hey, Frank," and this is before he was married. I guess he was dating. He said, "Hey, Frank, I'm going to be having dinner, with this lady, and yeah, I'd like to, I guess, impress her. So, can you come over from your table and just say hello?" So I said, okay, all right, Dom, just go back and eat, and I'll come when I can. I'm in the middle of my spaghetti dinner and meatballs right now.
Right.
So Frank gets up, and Frank goes over, and which was very generous of him to go over and to do it.
Yeah.
And he goes over to Don Rickles' table, and he goes, "Hey, Don, good to see you. How are you?" And he goes, "Frank, what are you doing? Can't you see I'm eating here?"
Oh, those fellas.
It's like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But here's the website, gang, melissamanchester.com. Of course, everything on all the usual places, the Spotify's and everywhere else. And
Yeah. YouTube, Amazon, everything. Yeah.
all of it. Congratulations again on Live 77.
Thank you.
Congratulations on everything else, my friend. You really
Thank
are a blessing and a joy. And you're welcome back anytime. We'll keep that
Wow.
porch light on for you. And
Thank you.
thanks for spending time. I know you got a busy day still happening and lots going on, but thanks so much, Melissa. We love you and we really
Well,
appreciate you. Okay.
thank you so much. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Melissa Manchester stopping by for a quick visit here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Let's take a look at the comments. We have so many comments built up. Thank you very much again. I want to remind you, you can go to the website, melissamanchester.com, of course. In addition to the website, as she mentioned, Amazon and Spotify and YouTube and iTunes. You can get all the music there. She is really, really spectacular. And thank you very much, Pam, and Charlene Lee is here. Thank you very much. And Kathleen, thank you, Melissa, for all your wonderful music. Steve Bird is in the house. He commented earlier, Steve, very good episode tonight, Jim and Melissa. Thank you very much, Steve. Glad to have you here. And David Thistle is here. Hi, everyone. Good to see you, David. Lots of great levities watching. Pam says, that's why my mother and I loved her music, because we could recognize real, authentic people. You know it. She absolutely is. Really, really terrific. Mary Bishop, Florida, says, thanks, Melissa and Jim. You're very welcome, Mary. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it's Jim Masters TV. And if you didn't see the other episode when Melissa Manchester was my guest, that was a more extended episode. I think we chatted for 2 hours, and we really, really had a phenomenal conversation. Go back in the archives and enjoy that episode. It really was something special, as was this one, updating us on some really new special things. Charlene did a super sticker. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Charlene. Very kind of you, in a beautiful turquoise color that helps support our show. Super sticker, super emoji, super thanks and all that are something you can do. And Linda says, thank you, Melissa, for coming back to Jim's show. You're such a very pleasant person, beautiful songs and voice. I agree. Nikki says, yes, thank you for visiting us in Lovely Hall, Melissa. Absolutely. From Nikki, Melissa is a legend. She and her music will live on forever. I agree. Absolutely. Yes, her sincerity shines through. It's so good to see you here as well. And everybody that's watching. Susan saying, you are truly special, Melissa. And Melissa can see all these comments as well. She's seeing all these fabulous words. Thank you for being here again with us, Melissa. Always enjoy. Sherry Larson. Pam says, I grew up with all those Motown songs as a little kid in the 1960s. Love also Joni Mitchell and Laura Nyro. Yes, absolutely. You're very welcome. Absolutely. My pleasure. Got a nice emoji in there from Sue. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We love you, Melissa, from Crystal. And Timothy says, evening, Jim and lovely friends. Wise words from Melissa. Hi from Susan. Everybody's saying hello to everybody as well. So nice to see everybody here. And Tara was here as well. Good to see Tara. If you didn't see the episode with Tara, not only did we have a terrific conversation, we had a million laughs. It was really great episode. And Tara was with us. I was just saying, 90s chart topping R&B gold record selling performer Tara Kemp re-releasing music now. And she was the one I was talking about to Melissa, who said that Melissa was a great, huge influence on her career coming up the ranks. So I was very happy to relay to Melissa how Tara felt about Melissa. And Melissa, I think, was very moved by that. Yes, I'm somebody who likes to bring people together. I think we've talked about that a lot on our show as much as possible. Yes, I'm a good train conductor. Through the Eyes of Love. What a beautiful song. Nobody sings it like you. Yeah, I know. That song is absolutely one of the best from Ice Castles, the movie. Thank you very much. All the songs are favorites of yours as well. There's been a lot of comments in here, so hopefully we didn't miss any. Sue says, hi. Thank you very much. You enjoyed the questioning, and as well, we don't call these interviews, we call these conversation. Why, or conversations. Why are all of these so catchy, all her songs? Very true. Yes, she's, and you're watching in the Philippines. It's so good to see you again. You guys are great. Thanks for these great comments here. This is really, really fantastic. And just really, I know you were very excited. I think we mentioned you. Susan, I agree. Melissa, all your music really resonates with me. I thank you so much for that. Yes. And again, Melissa can see these comments. And I think we showed that one. Your music is as beautiful as you. She's very humble too, which I think is refreshing and beautiful. Yeah. And it was very special for you to meet Melissa backstage, as it were. My pleasure. Sort of backstage right here on the Jim Masters Show, you mean, right? Absolutely. You're very welcome, Tara. Good to see you. And everybody. Merlin in Ontario, Canada says, Melissa, you are the real thing. Yes, she is. Absolutely. And Kurt Stacy in the house. Good to see you, Kurt. Great show. Jim, Melissa, Melissa is a wonderful conversationalist. Yes, she is, isn't she? So you put two conversationalists together, and we figured we would do a nice conversation. We weren't going to go as long as last time. And last time we did a 2-hour show and it was terrific. She loved it. I loved it. You can see it again on our YouTube channel. It's archived here at Jim Masters TV if you didn't see it. We wanted to keep this a little bit shorter, but still have a really good, solid conversation and celebrate her incredible body of work, but also some of those new things. Again, Live 77 is really exciting. And she's been doing some touring. Thank you very much. You just did a super sticker, super chat, super emoji, super stickers. You can do those in live chat, or you can do the super thanks heart icon that's on our YouTube channel. You can do that any time of the day. Thank you very much, Kathleen. I'm glad you enjoyed this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll take a look at a couple more comments here in our chat. I do want to also remind you, gang, that coming up tomorrow, we have Kayleen Peoples. She's with us tomorrow. I think I said Tony Orlando. Tony Orlando is on Tuesday. Yes, Tony Orlando stopping by the Jim Masters Show Live this Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And John Davidson is returning, legendary TV and game show host, Hollywood Squares. That's incredible. All the great shows. And of course, singer, songwriter, actor, entertainer. I had a chance to see John Davidson and chat with him when we went up to New Hampshire last 4th of July weekend, and we visited his new intimate entertainment venue he has created in New Hampshire in the White Mountains called Club Sandwich. It's actually in Central Sandwich. That's the name of the town, New Hampshire, in the Lakes region. And it's a really cute, cool place. And he has all kinds of entertainers that come in that do all kinds of great things. He has weekends when he's performing. So we saw him on 4th of July and chatted with him. And then we went upstairs for a drink and with some other TV friends. And it was just really, really fantastic. And then we climbed Mount Washington. We went to the top of Mount Washington. Talk about soaring to new heights. It was really, really something. So John Davidson is with us on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. And Tony Orlando is with us on Tuesday. And Kayleen Peoples, former Miss California, acclaimed vocalist, musician, composer, they're actually going to do live music for us. She's tomorrow here on the show, which is really exciting. If you didn't see the episode, we did an episode earlier today. This was actually a double Levity day. We did 2 shows. Barbara J. Garshman is with us. Barbara J. Garshman was the supervising producer for the Guiding Light soap opera for years. She also wrote For Another World, Days of Our Lives, and she was also the director of primetime entertainment development for NBC, creating and developing many of the shows that we enjoy for years, miniseries, comedies, dramas, and so much more. That was a great episode earlier today. She also penned this amazing book, You Can't Stop Me. Check that episode out. That was really fantastic. Again, we were celebrating on this episode, once again, the incomparable Melissa Manchester. She really is something. And she gave her time. Some fabulous stories too, huh? A great story about that photo. Love that one as well. Some earlier shots. These are just a few things that we dug up just to share with Melissa. Great story she had. She was in hurricane mode with swinging. Great story she shared with that. She is not just an American legend and a musical legend, but around the world too. So many albums, so many songs. Don't Cry Out Loud, of course. You know, just looking back a little bit, there she is from when she was on Solid Gold. Yeah. I think there she's singing, You Should Hear How She Talks About You. Da, da. I mean, when you hear these songs, they stick with you. Epic, really. The soundtrack of many, many lives. The incomparable Melissa Manchester on the Jim Masters Show live. Once again, very excited to tell you about Melissa Manchester Live 77. She told us in depth about the release of this material that hadn't been released, and it's really exciting. And again, if you missed it earlier, the packaging comes with extraordinary material, liner notes that are really amazing, and all these extra features too. And she was really sharing what it was like during that time making the music. This is the long lost first live album from one of the great singer-songwriters to emerge from the 70s and beyond, featuring fan favorites and hits, plus the premiere of the blues classic High Heel Sneakers. Liner notes include exclusive quotes from Melissa Manchester and Clive Davis. 45th anniversary 2 CD set out as well, which came out in May on Real Gone Music and Second Disc Records. Melissa Manchester was and is one of the great singer-songwriters. In 77, she toured with Lear Sayer. She played Carnegie Hall, released her 6th album Singin'. But unbeknownst to her and to most, she also recorded, or many people didn't know, she of course knew, but most didn't know, she recorded her first live album on October 30th, 1977, as she mentioned, in Gainesville, Florida, great Southern Music Hall. She delivered an inspired performance, and she was backed by incredible musicians, and it was really incredible. Now, this was shelved. Arista Records, they shelved it. Now, Live 77 presents Melissa's long-lost performances in this deluxe 2 CD set, 21 songs featuring her hits Midnight Blue, Better Days, a song, as we mentioned, admired by Bob Dylan, Just You and I, plus fan favorites, We've Got Time, Happy Endings, and Caravan. Live 77 also premieres Melissa's only recording anywhere of the blues classic, as I mentioned, High Heel Sneakers. It's remastered from the original tapes as well. And there's a deluxe booklet that includes rare photos and liner notes by the second disc's Joe Marchese, centered on a fresh, exclusive interview with the artist and the former Arista president and music industry legend, Clive Davis. 45 years later, this stunning live album can now finally be heard. And what a great story as well about this how I think she said it was a fan that took that photo of her and they used it for the cover. They did have an original cover that was different, and then they went with this one. So again, you can go to her website, melissamanchester.com. You can go to Amazon. You can go to all the usual places where you can find great music. We have done over, I think, 700 episodes now of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series. Thanks to everybody for all of the love, all of the comments, all of the great things that you guys say, sharing the links, celebrating what we're doing here, which is unique. We don't just do interviews. We have conversations, entertainment, poignant moments, levity, live interaction with our actual viewers. We don't keep you just watching. We like to interact with you and acknowledge you, whether you're watching live or you're watching Memorex, as we say, which means watching this later in the archives. Thank you very much, Nikki. I appreciate that. And catching up on just a few of these comments here. And Dido's Bug is here. Thank you, Jim, for another great interview. Thank you, Melissa, for being so generous with your time and sharing so much of the real you with us fans. Love to you both. Love you back. Jim Masters, Melissa Manchester, and George Burns in the house as well. A trifecta for all of you. Crystal says, you're the best, Jim. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That means the world to me. Thank you, Jim. You're the best. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Watching there from the Philippines. Yes. What time is it right now in the Philippines? We have guests that come from all around the world and viewers that come from all around the world. I'm taking a look at some of the comments. Charlene Lee is excited that John Davidson's here. He's coming on Wednesday. Tony Orlando is Tuesday. Taya Yellow Ribbon and Knock 3 Times and Candida and so much more. Did you know Tony also does a radio show on WABC 77 in New York City? He's really, really great at that. Thanks, Jim. Have a great night. Always look forward to these shows. Good night, all. My pleasure. Yes, Tony Orlando and Dawn. You got it right. And thank you very much. You know, I can't believe we've done almost 700 episodes. Great guests coming up. And as long as all of you are here commenting, supporting, celebrating, sharing, we'll continue working hard to present this unique community of content lovers here at the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series. Love John Davidson and Tony Orlando. They are legends as well. That is Pam. And Sherry does as well. Absolutely. Now, there's another. You can hear their songs in your head too, right? I mean, again, prolific music creators and performers as well. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that, Pam, and all of you as well. It is 9 a.m. in the Philippines, so you are ahead of us. Yeah, so 9 a.m. for you tomorrow already. Well, I hope you're having a great day in the Philippines. Thank you, everybody. Sherry and Nikki and Mary and all the new folks watching. You are now what we call Jim Masters Show Lovities. Once you watch, you are now considered Lovities here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later. If you enjoyed this episode, couple of things. Be sure and give us a thumbs up on our YouTube channel. There's a little thumbs up icon there. Kind of looks like that. We would love it if you give us a thumbs up, like, and leave a comment on the YouTube channel as well. I know you're commenting in chat, but also leave a comment underneath this episode. Drop a comment on the episode on our YouTube channel. That helps us big time as well. And if you haven't subscribed yet, that helps us big time, helps us grow and expand what we're doing here for all of you. Click the red subscribe button. There's no cost for that. That just lets us know you're part of the Jim Masters Show Live Lovity family, our Lovity squad. And be sure and click the notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes, because we'll send out an alert, a notification. You'll be alerted every time we have an episode, which is basically just about every day. Today we did 2 episodes in one day. And Really, really fantastic. So we're going to wrap up here. It's been a very busy day and a fantastic day. And thanks to everybody for all these great comments and all the support. And Sue's in the house. Good night from the Bronx. Absolutely, Sue. And Crystal says, have a great night and upcoming week, Jim Lovedies. We'll see you on the next one as well. And yes, I'm ahead. I'm at work. See you all later. All right. Yeah, you got to get back to work there in the Philippines. 9:00 in the morning there. And Charlene, thank you very much. Good to see you, and say hello to my buddy Paul Green for me. Tell him Jim Masters was saying hi, because I think you came over when Paul Green was a guest on our show. You became a Lovedy on the Jim Masters Show Live, which is fantastic. All right, gang. We don't say goodbye. We say see you later. Ciao, cheers, hasta la vista, auf Wiedersehen, sayonara, shalom, ciao. Have a good day. We never say goodbye. We just say see you later, and be well. Take care of one another. Love one another. Be good to one another, and be good to yourself. One of the things you heard Melissa say is breathe. She does it, for part of her vocal exercises. Well, she does it in life. And she goes out and she plants a garden, picks the tomatoes right there outside her apartment there in California. Do things that make you happy. Do things that fulfill your soul. Do things that lift your spirit. Because when your soul is filled and when your spirit is filled, others will be attracted to that. And then it'll rub off on other people. And then their spirit will be filled. And then they will be motivated and empowered to do things in their life that might benefit all of us. You know what I mean? The whole thing, the earth spins, and we're all on it. The earth is not flat, no matter what they say. The earth is not flat, although sometimes it does seem like it's flat, doesn't it? Lately, it seems like the earth has been flat, but it's actually round and it spins. So when you're inspired, when I'm inspired, and we're all inspired, beautiful things happen. So hopefully this series we call the Jim Masters Show Live inspires all of you. And good to see all of you. Jane in Sweden says, thanks, Melissa, for being here. Great to hear you tell us your story. Thank you, Jim, for having her back. The pleasure mine. Aloha from Nikki. Nikki there in beautiful Hawaii. Yes, I got to take this show. I got to go to Hawaii. We got to do this show in Hawaii. We got to take it to Europe. We got to take the show to Canada. We got to take the show. We're actually working on some of that. We're working on some of those ideas. It's labor intensive and there's a lot of logistics involved, but we are working on some of that. So keep your fingers crossed. Maybe some of that will happen. We're also talking about our Lovedy cruise coming up in May of next year to Bermuda. If you'd like to know more, just shoot us an email at jimmasterstv@gmail.com, jimmasterstv@gmail.com. Spectacular cruise sailing out of New York on the new Norwegian Prima luxury cruise to Bermuda with Jim and the Lovedies next May next year. So that's really, really cool, and something special for all of you. We thank Melissa Manchester for gracing us with her presence once again, and we thank all of you for doing the very, very same. Cheers to you, Kathleen, and to you, Sue, as well, and Jane, and everybody watching all around the world. This is your host, Jim Masters. Thank you for your time this time. Till next time, we'll be back again, a full week of fabulous episodes coming up for those who are watching live. If you're watching this later on in the archives, thank you for watching as well. Not everybody comments, not everybody's in the chat. We just thank you for being here and viewing and watching and sharing. If you'd like to leave a comment on our YouTube channel under this episode, we thank you and encourage and welcome you to do that. And something that we do all the time, and I try to remember to do it. I toast all of you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Somebody, I think, asked earlier, what are we drinking tonight? This is still coffee from the earlier episode with our previous guest. So now it's iced coffee. That's what it is. I didn't finish the coffee. I always get so busy. We make the coffee, we end up putting it down, and hot coffee becomes iced coffee here. So we're going to put an ice cube in it. But it's 9:15? Maybe it's too late to have that coffee. I'll be up all night, and we don't want that. No more sleepless nights for sure. Thank you very much. And cheers to you in the Philippines. And Anne is here. Nice to see you in Southern California. Hawaii is so beautiful. Absolutely. Charlene wants to go. She wants to go to Hawaii. Take me with you. We're doing a lovely cruise to Bermuda. Want to come to Bermuda with us? And then maybe we'll go on the flip side and we'll go out west and we'll go to Hawaii. Oh, you're still in California, but you embrace the aloha spirit. I like that. Always embrace the aloha spirit. Very cool. All right, gang, thanks for being here. We have long-winded goodbyes, I know, but we always like to acknowledge all of you and have a little chat at the end with all of you as well. And Charlene, cheers as well. Thanks, gang. If you'd like to see this episode again with our glorious guest, Melissa Manchester, you can see it right here on our YouTube channel. Enjoy it. And another 700 or so episodes. I think it's around 700, or if not, we're inching up close to it for all of you to enjoy right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Good stuff. You like that idea of taking it on the road? Absolutely. Absolutely. Send us a note to jimmasterstv@gmail.com. That's jimmasterstv@gmail.com. And we will put you in touch with our exclusive travel agency, and they'll tell you more about everything. I know there's a lot of people that want to go on, and a number of our guests who have been a part of our show want to go on the Jim Masters Show Bermuda Lovely Cruise next year in May from New York to Bermuda. So send us, Charlene, jimmasterstv@gmail.com, an email to the show, and then we'll get you all the information and we'll contact the travel agency and they can tell you more about all of it. You are very welcome, Charlene Lee, and it'll be fantastic to see you joining us and other lovelies on that cruise. All right, gang, we're going to wrap. Didn't I say that before? Thanks for being with us. Be well. Take care. And thanks for spending time with us on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll see you on the next one. And don't forget, you can binge watch all these episodes right here just for you. That's it. I'm not going to talk the rest of the day. I will not talk the rest of the day. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Jane. Right back at you from all the lovelies here at the Jim Masters Show Live. Take care and be well, gang. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again soon on the Jim Masters Show Live. Cheers.